Hi, my name is Lily from the blog Consuming Lily, and today I'm making Xinjiang Lamb Skewers. These are lamb skewers that are traditionally from the furthest northwest part of China. China's landmass is about the same size as the US, so there's a lot of diversity in terms of cuisine and culture. And that part of China is actually really close to Kyrgyzstan and all the different stands, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, the stands. And so it's a very heavily Muslim-influenced area. So even though the majority of Chinese cuisine is pork heavy, because Muslims don't eat pork, they've changed it up a little bit. So they actually rely more heavily on lamb and beef. So this is something that's very specific to the area. And what's really great about this is it's one of the few dishes that have left the area and become popular in other parts of China. This particular one is all over the streets of Beijing and Xi'an and major cities throughout China because it's so popular. And there's a lot of street foods and there's a lot of street food markets all over China, and you can always smell this cooking. It's awesome. Part of what makes this particular Xinjiang on top of the lamb is also the use of spices. Chinese people don't generally use spices like cumin, but this one is a very cumin-heavy dish, and a lot of the dishes from the region are cumin-heavy. What I've done here is I've taken a pound of lamb shoulder and I've cut it really thin because we're going to put them on skewers. So you want them really thin and filleted, sort of like sauté. And then I've added 2 tablespoons of soy sauce and 2 tablespoons of whole cumin seeds. What I've done with the cumin seeds is I put them in the pan really quickly and I toasted them. Keep your eye on them the whole time you're toasting them and over a low fire. What you want to do is you kind of want to bloom the spices. Lord knows how long those spices have been on the shelves before you even bought them. So when you do that, you kind of bring out some of the essential oils and it makes it smell and taste much better and fresher. So I split them in half. I put half of the whole seeds right in with the soy sauce and the lamb. And I put half in this mortar and pestle. You can use your knife on a cutting board and just chop them roughly, but I have an incredibly small but useless mortar and pestle for this only. So I just threw half of the seeds in this and I'm just crushing them really, just breaking them up, kind of releasing some more oil so I have a variety of flavors. You know, you have the whole seeds that release this kind of one scent, and then you have the broken ones that have more of a dynamic scent. So I break these up a little bit, just crack them to the point where you can really smell them. And you can smell them almost the minute you start hitting them, but when you really get that really heady smell, I think you're about ready. That's pretty good. And I'm just going to sprinkle the rest of these in here. Also in here, I put in 2 chilies. I use these dried bird-eye chilies from the Chinese market, but you can put in red pepper flakes or whatever you want. And if you don't want chilies, you can omit them altogether. On top of that, I put in a tablespoon of minced garlic, which is about 3 small cloves, and I mixed them together really well with my hands just to make sure that everything was coated because you have some really odd shapes in there, and I left them in my fridge overnight. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to remix them, kind of refresh it together, and then I'm going to skewer them on. Depending on how much meat you have to the skewers is really up to you. Because I'm used to having them on the streets of China, I kind of keep it kind of minimal. You know, you really want to soak the skewers before you use them because it helps prevent them from burning when you put them on the grill and or under the broiler, which I'm doing because I live in an apartment. You can put these on the grill and they take no time at all. You know, I mean, lamb is actually pretty good for me when it's kind of medium rare, and depending on your doneness, but because these are so thin, it takes like a minute, not even, to cook these. So they're super fast under the broiler or over the grill. So this is what I'm putting on there. There's about 3 small pieces and it's about 5 inches long. So I'm going to continue to keep skewering these, and then when we're done, we'll pop them in the oven under the broiler. So I've done threading them all on. It makes about 20 skewers depending on how much meat you put on. I made 20 exactly. So I put them on a foil-lined sheet with some Pam that I sprayed on here just to make sure they don't stick. If you're putting them on the grill, then I would just brush them really quickly with oil and make sure you have a clean grill. But they take no time at all. I'm going to put them under the broiler for about 2 minutes on each side, flip them halfway through, rotate them around, make sure they get good coverage. And that's about it. And it should take about that much time on the grill too. So I'm just going to pop them in right now. So these have been under the broiler for about 5 minutes now. I flipped them over about halfway through and I just pulled them out. So you can see that they don't get a lot of color because there isn't a lot going on for that. But they're totally cooked through because they've been sliced so thin and they're ready to go. I'd be a little careful eating them because they're super hot. But I'm just going to plate them and you can enjoy them whenever you want.